Immediately after inauguration, Roosevelt appeared on the White House balcony, dressed in the purple robes of a Roman emperor and walking a blind, toothless lion on a gold chain. Hogg called his constituents to come and get their appointments. The constituents rushed up, grunting and squealing like the hogs they were. Men who'd gone gray and toothless in faithful service of their country were summarily dismissed in the grossest terms, like, "You're fired, you old fuck, get your piles out of here," and in many cases thrown bodily from their offices. Hoodlums and riffraff of the lowest caliber filled the highest offices of the land. When the Supreme Court attempted to overturn some of the legislation perpetrated by this vile rout, Roosevelt forced that august body, one after another upon threat of immediate reduction in rank to congressional lavatory attendance, to submit to intercourse with a purple-ass baboon, so that venerable and honored men gave themselves over to the embraces of a lecherous, snarling simian, as Roosevelt and his strumpet wife, and the veteran brown-nosed Harry Hopkins, smoking a communal hookah of hashish, watched the amenable spectacle with cackles of obscene laughter. Justice Blackstaff succumbed to a rectal hemorrhage on the spot. Roosevelt just laughed and said coarsely, "Plenty more where that came from," causing Hopkins to roll on the floor in sycophantic convulsions, saying over and over again, You're killing me, Chief, you're killing me." Roosevelt then appointed the baboon to replace Justice Blackstaff, deceased. So thenceforth the proceedings of the court were carried on with the screeching simian, pissing and shitting and masturbating upon the table, and, not infrequently, leaping on one of the justices and tearing him to shreds. "He's entering a vote of dissent," Roosevelt would say with an evil chuckle. The vacancies thus created were invariably filled by simians, so that in the course of time the Supreme Court came to consist of 9 purple-ass baboons, and Roosevelt, claiming to be the only one to interpret their decisions, thus gained control of the highest tribunal in the land. Roosevelt then gave himself over to such vile and unrestrained conduct as is shameful to speak of, but I will do it anyway. He instituted a series of contests designed to promulgate the lowest acts and instincts of which the human species is capable. There was the most unsavory act contest, the cheapest trick contest, molest a child week, turn in your best friend week, professional stool pigeons disqualified, and the most coveted title of vilest man of the year. Roosevelt was so consumed by hatred for the species as it was that he wished it degraded beyond all recognition. "I'll make those cocksuckers glad to mutate," he would say, staring off into space as though seeking new frontiers of depravity. So let us all scan the horizons in search of new frontiers of depravity. After all, this is a space age and we are here to go. This is called The Do-Rights by William S. Burroughs. This is a folkloric text from the Lexington Narcotics Hospital. It was inspired by Juvenal, the Roman satirist. He's speaking of Greek parasites and sycophants. All arts, all sciences, a fasting Greek knows, bid him go to hell, and to hell he goes. If you but say you're warm, he breaks into a sweat. If you complain of a draft, he calls for his overcoat. There is an exclusive wing of Lexington reserved for the do-rights, who are considered good rehabilitation prospects. They get better rooms and more medications. A do-right always shows up with letters from his clergyman, banker, employer, pictures of himself as an Eagle Scout, shaking hands with the priest on graduation. There's no limit to what he'll do. The type falls all over himself to light the boss's cigarette. The doctor walks into the ward and says, "Rather warm in here." As one man, the do-rights break out into a sweat and rush around opening windows. "Cold in here, isn't it?" Immediately, the do-rights see their breath in the air and bundle themselves up to a chorus of chattering teeth. Front office, brown-nosed fink to the bone. "Doctor, when I die, I want to be buried right in the same coffin with you. You're the finest, most decent, most deeply humane man I've ever known. I'm putting you down for additional medication, son." "Thank you, doctor." Pushers should receive the death penalty. Of such stuff are the do-rights made, get there firstest with the brownest nose, while down in the dim gray wards and day rooms where the do-wrongs hawk and spit and shiver and vomit. Fucking Croker wouldn't give me a goofball. He asked me what the American flag means to me. I tell him, soak it in heroin, Doc, and I'll suck it. He says I got the wrong attitude. Now to see the chap and get straight with Jesus. Then with tears streaming down their lousy fink faces, the do-rights leap up and bellow out the Star-Spangled Banner. And you know what really bugs me about the third one is there's no cover page. The other ones had cover pages. And as a Capricorn, that really fucking bugs me that I didn't put a... Okay, shut up, Zach. Okay, here we go. This is called The Mummy Piece. The most unpleasant, precarious, bureaucratic, and downright stupid immortality blueprint was drafted by the ancient Egyptians. First, you had to get yourself mummified, which was very expensive, making immortality a monopoly of the truly rich. And then, your continued existence in the Western lands is entirely dependent on the continued existence of your mummy. This is why they had their mummies hid good and protected with potent curses. Now here's this plain G.I. Ollie. He's got enough baraka, enough energy to survive his first physical death. Well, he won't get far. He's got no mummy, he's got no names, he's got nothing. What happens to a bum like that, a nameless, mummyless asshole? My demons will swarm all over him at the first checkpoint. He will be dismembered and thrown into a flaming pit, where his soul will be utterly consumed and destroyed, while others with sound mummies and the right names to drop in the right places sail through to the Western lands. There are some who just, of course, there are some who just barely squeeze through. Their mummies is not in a sound condition. These creeps can only live in the third-rate transient hotels just beyond the last checkpoint, where they can smell the charnel house disposal ovens from their skimpy balconies. Might as well face facts. My mummy's going downhill. I don't even feel like a human. Cheap job to begin with. God, maggots is crawling all over it. The way that demon guard sniffed at me this morning. Transient hotels. Here you are deep in a luxury condo deep in the Western lands. You got no security. Some disgruntled former employees sneak into your tube and throw acid on your mummy. Slosh gasoline and burn the shit out of it. Oh, somebody's fucking with my mummy. I mean, face it, brother, you're fucked. Let's face it, mummies are sitting ducks. No matter who you are, what could happen to your mummy's a pharaoh's nightmare. Floods, volcanoes, earthquakes. Perhaps a mummy's best friend is an Egyptologist. In museums, they're safe from spiteful enemies, grave robbers, and scavengers, and kept at a constant temperature, but... The air raid sirens, it's the Blitz, for Ra's sake, get us into the vaults, scream the mummies without a throat, without a tongue. You think about it, this deal stinks like a dead camel. Long dead. Anyone buy into a thing like that should have his mummy examined. Don't take us for dumber than we look. The Johnsons has taken over the Western lands. We bought it, we built it, we paid for it, it's ours, and we're going to take it. And P.S., you know, this planet could be a reasonably pleasant place to live if everybody could just mind his own business and let others do the same.